Much. Special meeting, City of Dilley City Council. Today is March 31st, 2026. Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Dilley will conduct a special meeting today on Tuesday, March 31st, 2026 at the City Hall Convention Center building. Roll call, please, or call meeting to order, I'm sorry, at 6:31 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Alexandria Inocencio,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Alicia Machado,
Present.
Councilmember Place One Everardo Castillo,
Present.
Councilmember Place Two Eric Aranda,
Present.
Councilmember Place Four Ray Aranda,
Here.
Councilmember Place Five Noel Perez.
Present.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag and the Texas flag?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor
the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Invocation.
Let us pray. Dear God, we look to you for wisdom. We humbly pray for your help in all things. Please give us direction and wisdom to make the right decisions for our city and to bring glory to your name. Amen.
Citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the City Council on any issue or any item of the agenda in compliance with LGC Section 551.007. The City Council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken on any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion JC-0169. Do we have any citizens to be heard?
No, Mayor, we don't.
Thank you. No citizens to be heard. Moving on to new business. Item number 7, discuss, consider, and act on resolution authorizing publication of a notice of intention to issue certificates of obligation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the record, David Gonzalez with PFM Financial Advisors.
Thank you.
We're financial advisors for the city. I'm passing out a presentation that I think y'all are familiar with. It's pretty similar to the one that I passed out the last time we were here a couple months ago. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started on slide page 1. If y'all have any questions throughout this presentation, just let me know. I'm happy to answer anything y'all have. If you look there on the first page, it's titled Working Group Participants. You have the City of Dilley, we have your financial advisor, your bond counsel, and then the purchaser of this loan yet to be determined, paying agent, same thing. We don't know who that's gonna be just yet. If you turn over to the next page, this is just some preliminary numbers that we presented before. Interest rates are right around the same ballpark, so we left that the same. The amount that we're looking at is $750,000. Project fund, $720,000. Preliminary true interest cost 4.5%. The average payment on this is $68,796. The first payment is 9/1/2026. This is probably going to get pushed to March of 2027, your first payment, if you actually move forward with this whenever we bring this back to council in about a month and a half or so. And then the term that we're looking at here is a 15-year term. If there's no questions on this one, I'm going to jump over to the next page. This page just gives you a snapshot of the city's finances In column one, you have the fiscal years. You have in column two, all of the existing debt service for the city of Dilley. So if you look at column two, you're gonna have some opportunities to actually finance some significant projects in 2028, 2029, because your debt is gonna drop significantly from about 1 million down to about 6 million on your outstanding debt service. So that's gonna create some capacity for the city of Dilley. If you look at columns 3, 4, and 5, what we're looking at here today is these certificates of obligations for the water meters. So we broke out here principal, interest, and total, 750,000 plus. In column 3, we're looking at your principal. So we have your 750,000 in column 3. In column 4, you have your interest, and then you have your total there in column 5. Now, if we add all of this together, we're looking at columns number 6, which is a combination of your outstanding existing debt service plus these new certificates of obligations in column number 6. And then in column number 7, we have your total self-supporting debt service. This is basically paid by the water and sewer revenues. So what that looks like in column number 9 and 10, you're looking at basically no increase to your tax rate until you get down to column number 10, and that's in 2030. You're looking at potentially a 3.8 cent increase. But I've visited with the water meters and your rate consultant, Jeff Snowden. He's basically made it clear, hey, we're running the numbers to where they don't pay anything taxes. It doesn't impact the INS tax. This will be paid 100% by water and sewer revenues. So that's basically what we're looking at. It's going to be 100% self-supporting by the water and sewer utility system. If there's no questions on that page, the next page here, we have the timetable of events. Again, just like I expressed last time I was here, the city council is not approving a loan today, and you didn't approve a loan last time either. All you did was basically give your attorneys authorization to move forward and publish a notice of intention in the local paper to say, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to talk to banks and we're going to bring that to city council on a specific date at a specific time. At that time, we're going to consider if we get different loans, we get different bids, we're going to consider all the bids. And at that time, we'll decide if we actually want to move forward with this, or we can decide that we don't want to move forward with anything. So what we're here to approve today is basically to give your attorneys and myself, the financial consultant, to just publish something in the local paper so that we can go out and start talking to banks. And then we'll bring that back. If you look at the dates here, we have a special city council meeting to approve a notice of intention today. We would publish the first notice of intention in a local paper on April 2nd. And if you jump down there on May the 19th, that's when we would come back at your regular scheduled meeting. And at that meeting, we'll actually have, if there's what banks want to participate, we'll have their terms, their bids. We'll run those numbers for you and we'll show you an apples to apples comparison of all the bids that you get. And you can say at that time, okay, this one looks good, we're ready to move forward. Or you know what? It's not good enough, we don't want to do anything. So you'll have the flexibility and the opportunity to do that on May the 19th. If on May the 19th, you are happy with the bid and you vote on the bid to move forward, then on June the 18th, we would close on that actual loan. And that's when you would receive funds, the proceeds from those certificates of obligations to begin work on the water meters. So like I said, you all have seen this presentation before. That's all I have. If you all have any questions, I'm happy to answer anything you all have at this time.
Council, do we have any questions?
I do.
Go ahead, Mr. Cruz.
I'm just curious about the interest rate.
Yes.
I mean, this shows 6%, and yet you showed 4.5%.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Are we closer to the 4.5%? I hope so.
I think you're closer to the 4.5 right now. The 6% that came from, where did the 6% come from? Is that? Okay. Yeah.
4.5% is good.
Yeah, so 4.5, we think it's gonna be closer to 4.5. Obviously with
Yeah.
what happening in the Middle East, the price of oil, things can fluctuate and and what have you. God knows where it's gonna be 45 days from now. But we feel that it's definitely gonna be in the high fours, low five range for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion, council? Again, this is just for notice of intention. We're not agreeing to any obligation at this time, but just solely providing approval for them to post that we are in intent to this obligation, but not approving any obligation today. Okay. Ms. Moran, anything else do you want to share with us, or we're? What can we come back to? Sure, I mean, now's the time to do that, just so.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Thank you, David,
Yes.
for bringing that. I would like, I've done a little bit of research, and the first question that I have, and I'm not sure if you all can answer, is whether or not we actually had an independent water loss study done. And the reason for that is because sometimes, you know, we get salespeople that come up here and they're trying to sell us something, but sometimes we need to make sure that the product we're buying is going to deliver. And if we're going to recoup that money, are we going to recoup less and we're not going to be able to pay the loan because we're not recouping? So there are options for you all to consider. And again, as Mr. Gonzalez stated, you don't have to decide those options or guide or give us direction. But I wanted to put that out there for you, that there are other funding sources. For example, there are also other agencies that provide a service to come and give that independent audit to us. There's the South Texas Water Authority. They're a nonprofit that will come and actually do an independent audit of our water loss and tell us whether or not the purchase of these meters is going to generate that revenue in order to cover that payment. There is also another organization that's a nonprofit, and this is what they do. They'll come and help cities to determine, and they'll tell us, you know, they're independent. They're not trying to sell us anything. The Communities Unlimited, it's a rural organization. They work with a lot of small rural communities, and this is what they do. They'll come do studies and do independent audits of what we're trying to do. And then there's the funding options besides doing a certificate of obligation. There's other funding opportunities. For example, USDA can be part grant and part loan. So we don't have to borrow the entire amount and pay that back. There's also the Water Development Board. They also can go part grant or a very low interest loan as well. And then finally, I just want to point out that, and Mr. Gonzalez can probably speak to this best, we don't have to use the entire amount. If you decide to issue the certificates of obligation, you can set aside some for other projects, or you can also say, well, we're going to phase the water meter so we don't have to borrow that much, even though we, is that correct, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, when you publish the notice of intent, and there's the project specifically that are important to the city of Dilley, so you can list your water meters. But if you have some other items that you all want to add, that way, if you all come up with another funding source for the water meters, you have the flexibility to utilize the 750 in another manner. And that's something that bond council can.
Microphone, please, I'm sorry.
Oh,
So that our audience. can
sorry.
hear.
Yes, so what's important is that bond council list the projects and the notice of intention. So if the city can come up with another funding source for the water meters, but there's some other items that the city needs that are just part of the overall CIP, you can add some of that, and that way, if there's any balance left over, then the city can utilize that, whether it's for streets, roads, drainage, or something else that the city deems important and part of the CIP. So we just got to make sure that Bond counsel is aware and that they can add that language in the notice of intention.
We got both for further information.
I'm sorry, Mayor. Ms. Moran, I believe there should be some paperwork. Cause I can't recall what year it was that Communities Unlimited did come and they did do a study. I can't remember, it was 19, the beginnings or late 2019s when they came in. And I believe that's when the whole process started about working on the water meters. And that was brought up.
Do you know who conducted that study, sir?
It was Communities Unlimited.
I'm sorry?
Communities,
Unlimited?
yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. And that's when everything started with the process of getting the water meters and stuff like that. So this has been a project since, 2019. Yes, it's been a project since 2019 that we've been trying to pick up. But it's a great idea, looking for other
Funding
types of
sources,
funds and
yeah.
stuff like that,
Uh,
yes.
If council wants to direct staff, we can certainly reach out to USDA and Texas Water Development Board. They have technical experts that can help guide us and kind of tell us, this, if you wanted to replace X amount of meters, this is what it would cost. Perhaps this is what the funding and the loan structures would look like and the interest rates. We can bring that back at a later time, and just so that you have options. That's my entire purpose here, is to provide you all with information and give you options to consider if you don't want to go issuing that debt through a certificate.
So would you
of
like the
obligation.
recommendation of us passing this intention, but also giving you the guidance and reaching out for other sources?
Yes, because authorizing issuing the notice of intent, it doesn't obligate us at any time. So I would recommend that we do authorize the NOI, but also recommend that you direct staff to look at other funding options for us, because I don't know if that was ever presented to you all
Alright.
as, it's not this and that's it. There's other funding options, just to be fiscally sound and make
No, most
sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good recommendation that we can give.
You have
Especially-
more or less, a timeline or how long it would take to do that study? How much is gonna delay us because of?
So if we reach out but if the study's already been done, so my first step is to reach out to Communities Unlimited. If that study's already been done, they'll guide us and tell us, so we can possibly come back in April and give y'all some of what our findings were, what we found out. But again, this agenda item the next one is not until May 19th for us to, issue those certificates. So we can possibly present other options for y'all to consider.
And
in
it
April.
doesn't hurt to look at other options, however, just, I want just to emphasize on the timing of it. Like Mr. Castillo mentioned, we've been discussing this since 2019. It's been brought back. We've
Yeah.
decided to move forward. However, we do look at the options, but if we can also get provided
Yeah.
the time frame, if we're going out for grants, how long does that take, and so forth as well.
Yeah. And again, that's just giving y'all options also. They'll come back and say whether or not what our once we issue put those meters in place. I mean, because a lot of times it's just not about the water loss. There's other issues that create these problems. So we want to make sure that we're proceeding with caution on that
Yes.
we're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
cover that debt.
Oh, yes, yes.
Right. Yes, because other costs can be associated with
Exactly.
the installation of the
Yes, sir.
meters. So,
I have a question. Then we have to be more specific on Exhibit A as far as,
Yeah.
I mean,
Correct. I think that's where your bond counsel will provide those specific items. They'll be able to provide that so that it's in the notice of intention. Whatever detail the city deems as important and whatever projects specifically the city wants to tackle, bond counsel can put that in a notice of intention.
because I have noticed that this one does say including water meters. per se, and it's pretty general as far as
Yeah.
Mhm.
water improvements.
They try to give you some flexibility. Bond council always tries to give you flexibility, so I'm not surprised that they're keeping it general.
So is it still Mr. Martinez?
It is Mr.
Yes.
Martinez, yes, sir.
I know him well.
And I just wanted to add on the options,
Mhm.
that Ms. Moran was talking about, Water Development Board, USDA, yes, those are all, wonderful agencies that are always assisting cities similar to Dilly. The only thing I want to add is that I don't know the timing or the urgency, how fast the city needs these items, these projects funded. But when you're dealing with those types of federal and state agencies, you're looking at several months out there. Even if you have all your audits, you have all your budgets, and you have all the proper boxes checked, you're looking at financing at the very end of the calendar year or potentially
the-
2027.
Right.
That's just how these agencies work. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yes.
So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you.
Mr. Alvarez, did you want to add something to the discussion?
Well, I mean, since I was on the council, we had two proposals. One was for $1.5 million, and then they came this with 750. But the 750,000 was a turnkey project. I mean, that's what it was going to cost us to replace all the meters in the town. So it's if we go through with this, there's not going to be anything left over. It's going to cost us 750,000 to replace all the meters in town.
In the city.
And
And
like I say, it's a
according
turnkey.
to both of the presentations from two different vendors, the water loss alone will cover this payment.
The plan is that the water that we conserve will cover the payments, which average about 70,000, 77, 78,000, which I think is very doable. I mean, it's per year. It's like 77,000 per year. And I think that's possible because we know the condition of our meters and
Yeah.
Yeah.
water mains.
Well, the audit was done in 2019. We're
2026.
6 years later.
7 years.
I'm sure the system deteriorated more. We have probably a greater loss than 2019.
Mhm.
So I think the need is there.
Yes, I think that's what was discussed, it's just the need of replacing the old meters, all the other concerns we have and so forth. So-
And these meters will carry other efficiencies in that we won't have to go and read each meter by hand.
Yeah.
It'll automatically transpond the readings,
Correct.
and it can be done in one day instead of several days.
But I think what wasn't included in all this was if we have to get new meter boxes, if we have to level out the ground. None of that was included in this price, so that's probably gonna come out of our pocket. If you have to put a brand new meter, you're gonna wanna put a good box in there, and protect it. We level the ground, so that's gonna be our cost.
Mhm. That's it.
And just to reiterate, I'm just pointing out to you all things to consider, we know the urgency in the project, but at the same time, we need to be mindful that could be some risk indicators in borrowing that debt. Because remember, these two presentations that you all received, those are vendor driven. Those are vendors that are selling a product. And that's why I want to reach out to Communities Unlimited and review that independent study that they did, because that's what they do. They come and advise small rural communities what's the best options for us. And it could be that this is the best way to proceed, but at least you all will have some options to consider, because they look at the bigger picture. It's an independent on it. It's not vendor driven by a vendor that's trying to sell us a product. So that's a lot of times, that's where cities get in trouble, because we jump right into it without considering all these other costs that are going to drive the price up, or it's going to be the responsibility of the city. So these two organizations that I pointed out, that's what they do.
So should we proceed with the notice of intent? Because
Yes.
it really
Yes.
doesn't give us much time frame to research these other, because, I mean, these dates fall within the next month and a half.
Yeah.
I
So if
recommend
we're
that
gonna
we-
pursue other sources, what would be the benefit of pursuing the notice of intent?
That we're already starting.
Obligate you to a contract or anything by going and proceeding with the notice of intent. It's basically publishing that you're looking at possibly
Right.
issuing certificates of
And I
obligation.
understand that we're not locked in, but at the same time, it gives us 2, 3 weeks to look at other possible.
No,
Yes, but
source.
this one, when we
won't
come back, it'll be May 19th in a
19th.
special meeting for you all to decide. This turnaround for us, what I understand, and I'll reach out to these, two, independent, nonprofit organizations and then to the other funding sources, that I can get that in a week or 2 weeks.
I do have a comment
Yes, Mr. Bennett.
that this particular intent does not obligate us to HydroPro. It's still the city's money
Right.
Yeah.
at the
Exactly.
council's discretion.
Yeah.
So
And I just recommend that we go ahead and
There's no
proceed,
need.
council, for the
Mhm.
intent.
Yes.
Because if we don't, then that's gonna set us back
Back
again
again.
for the certificates
Yeah.
of obligation.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah, this basically, and I think, David, maybe you can provide some clarification. I think what he was saying, we can proceed with this one and posting it, publicizing it, unless we wanted to add some additional projects that would change the notice of
Right.
intent. But if we don't,
Correct.
we can proceed with that. right?
Yeah, that notice of intention that you have in your hand, that's a draft. If you want to add, if you want to keep it the same, you can keep it the same. If you want to add some items to it, Mr. Martinez, your bond counsel, can add some items. So that will not be finalized until it gets published in the local paper. So there's time to edit it if you all want it edited. Yeah. And Mr. Councilman Aranda, to your point, ultimately, this just really depends on how fast you all want to get this project funded. If you all are willing to wait till whether it's the end of the calendar year or 2027, then there's absolutely no rush. It's just really you all dictate how fast you all want to move, whether it's a $750,000 loan or explore the Water Development Board or explore USDA. It's just timing really more than anything.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Great discussion, and thank you all for everyone's input. Yes, ma'am.
So the loan looks like it will start paying on it on 2027. Again, we may not see this revenue that's supposed to be coming
2020.
till much later. So we need to make sure that we're going to be able to start making that payment, because that revenue that these meters are supposed to give us, we're not going to see it immediately.
Right.
So we need to also be cognizant of that we are able to make that payment when it comes due March 2027.
Right. And that's a good time to have it for the new fiscal year budget that
ma'am.
we're gonna start working on. Okay, thank you, council, city administration. If y'all can please make a motion if we're ready to proceed.
Mayor, I move up that we approve resolution authorizing the publication of a notice of intent to issue certificates of obligation.
Thank you. We have a motion on the table by Councilmember Place 4, Ray Aranda. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5. Thank you. Alrighty, it is 9 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.